This is the brand new INKEE Warthog 3-axis handheld stabilizer. You've probably never heard of it before, but here we are after a few months of messing about with it pre-launch. I think it's worth taking a little look at it and sharing it with you guys and girls. So let's crack on. Tidy, not dissimilar to other gimbal setups. Let's see where to start. There's the follow focus piece there. There's the bit that I think gives it the Warthog name. So let's just pop that back in for now. Various cables to get us going, mini USB, C to C, and I guess there's a couple more, type C, type A, and another there. Very comprehensive. There's so many I can't get them back in the bag. Follow focus gear, seems to be well made, and in here, some of the bits that we need. Cool. Put them back for the time being. A USB charger there, or charging cable I should say. Very cool. We're going to leave you for a moment. The main mounting plate, if I can get that out, decent. So the camera's going to leave on there and move up and down. Nice measurements. Let's put that back for the moment, if I can. Let's see then. Oh, that feels actually really nice. Tripod feet. That is very nice. Nice texture on there. Fair play. Let's just pop that back for the moment. Then the main handle. That is a real solid handle. It's not cheap at all. It's got a nice grippy feel to it. Of course, this is the battery, but you do have mounting points below there. Of course, one of which will be for tripod feet, which naturally give you a bit more of an extension there. Really impressed with this build quality. Feels really good, not just saying it. Decent, absolutely decent bit of grip there. I should assume there's a port in here for that DC to USB. And that will slot onto the main module itself. So you're going to need some charging to get that full. That is very cool. Didn't expect it to be that solid feeling. There is the actual thing itself. Really solid. Nice little joystick there, actually. Buttons feel good. USB on the side, mounting point there. Another dial there. These units feel good. Everything feels really well built. Let's just see how it is with this on. So we've got a little button on the back, which we can pull up there, which will allow this to slot in place. That is now in. I guess this tightens it. Maybe it doesn't, we'll see. Seems tight. Now with a little bit of battery that we have, let's see if we can turn it on. Might go a bit crazy because it's clearly not balanced. And it's in. Very nice. Cool. Obviously it's not doing anything yet because that will let us switch to the camera when the camera's connected. Got a record button. Everything seems really well positioned. Might be better if you've got a bigger hand, but I do like that. That is actually really nice and solid. Hold that down to turn it off. It's a simple case of loosening that, pulling up the switch, and that is off. Worth noting, of course, you've got your ports on the side there too, or your port rather, and your lock system. Everything seems really nice, but we just want to know how it fares. In my case, with the Fujifilm system, we're going to use the T4. So far, so good. Next, my first test shots with it. Now, the summary will be based on a lot more use than just what you're going to see today, but I thought I'd throw up today's first impression test shots before I've got used to the thing properly, just to see how plug and play, out the box, fresh it is to use for somebody that's not that new to gimbals but doesn't use them all the time. I'm holding this at arm's length now. It does have a tripod on the end and it's really hot today, so it's a bit of an ache, but is it usable? You know, seems all right, not too bad. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of randomness coming up in the next few minutes, so bear that in mind. No cinematic nonsense for now. Now we're in GL mode, and I'm just going to walk at quite a pace forwards. No, probably not. The FPV mode, let's just try and maneuver this around a bit and see how we get on. I'm not sure I want it pointing all the way down. Now I'm controlling it with the app. I can see everything on the screen, which is beautiful. Let's see how smooth I can pan it across with the joystick. Looks okay. You can go faster like an idiot, or relatively slow. I think I've dropped it a touch. So if I get it off track, I can hit this recenter button and we're back. The gimbal is pretty well thought out and built to last. The grip section is very comfortable and the controls are within easy reach, but the follow focus rig, which I won't be using all the time, I feel like it could be improved a little bit to match the quality of the rest of the setup. Now, the resulting footage, most importantly, is nice and smooth, and that makes this gimbal a very welcome newbie to the market. The buttons feel pretty good, and the port and the cables all seem to be well positioned, well designed. Now, I don't particularly enjoy setting up gimbals, but this was pretty straightforward and easy to do. Just make sure to lock everything in tight. The screws feel good, but as with any gimbal, it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, the little screen on the gimbal is probably an area that they could improve on next time around. Once you get used to it, it's clear enough, you know, the white on black. Yeah, but there's definitely room for improvement there though. The app was the final piece of the puzzle that I was waiting for to finish my evaluation of this gimbal, and it's thanks to the app that you get the final killer feature, the HDMI transmission. You can see what the camera's seeing via the app, which is a deal breaker. Now, of course, you can trigger the recording, adjust the ISO and the shutter and the aperture, but I think for the ISO settings, etc., they could always improve that interface a little bit more, frankly. Now, I own and use regularly the INKEE bend box, which does the same thing as the wireless transmission, but having it built into the gimbal is very handy, adds a real nice slab of value to this gimbal. Now another feature that I appreciate about the kit is this here follow focus unit. Give or take, it could be tweaked a little bit build wise. It's still very welcome and a very handy feature. The option to set A and B points is spot on, and you can operate them via the grip, but you can't control it via the app. That would have been super cool, so maybe they could include that in an update. It's a nice slow shot there. One thing I'm not sure they could include is object and face tracking, which is a shame because of course what you see on the app is basically a transmission of what the camera is seeing via HDMI with the camera controls overlaid on top, which is dealt with by a different cable. I mean, if they can go to a similar system that other companies use by connecting a phone on top of the camera, connecting to that with the weight of the camera, etc., and you know, getting the tracking, that would be amazing. I'd absolutely love that, but we haven't got it. Now, once you find the password, the app is pretty easy to connect with and use. I had to guess the password, so maybe I'm missing something, but there you go. For what it's worth, the password was 12345678. As you can see, I'm using it with my Fujifilm X-T4 and it's pretty flawless, albeit the record button, well, this time it's done it straight away. It doesn't always trigger for me first time. I think it likes to be locked onto something, or at least in manual mode. I'm still getting used to it, but as you can see, my tally light's on there, which means it works straight away. Let's see if it goes off straight away. Ah, oh, it did. It seems to be working better for me. Now, anyway, I'm getting used to it slowly but surely. The modular design and ease of use, coupled with the follow focus and the HDMI transmission built in, makes this a serious gimbal to look at next to the established gimbal companies. You know, it's usually the way in the tech world that small companies try to run with the big boys and fail miserably, you know, but based on the two INKEE gadgets, I mean, this is nuts. Look at that. Based on the two INKEE gadgets anyway that I've used for some time, like I said, I've been using this for a good few months now prior to launch. I think it's very worthy brand, and while there's a few things to iron out, which is probably down to being a very small team running a very tight budget, I think this gimbal is well worth investing in. Now, at the time of recording, it isn't fully available yet, so I haven't got the precise retail price, but AliExpress have got it listed for $469, and there's another site that have it down for 549 euros. There is an Amazon.com listing, but as it's not currently available on there, there's no price at the time of recording, but I'll put a link below. But let's say for now that for around £500 gets you a nice, solid, well-built, easy-to-use gimbal with some killer features and a little room for improvement, maybe with some app updates, firmware updates for the actual unit itself, and of course going forwards, a future model. Now, I've barely used half of the payload with this and it's been fantastic. So if you need something up to 5 kilos, I mean, that's a lot to be carrying around on a gimbal, but if you're into that, you're into that. This might well be an option for you. The Warthog, which I guess the name is based on what it looks like with the lens rest on. It works very well. Most importantly, keeps everything nice and smooth. nice steady footage as you need. It's got the modes that you'd expect, and they're easy to move around even with that tiny onboard screen. It'll be good to see the app include more functionality, and if we dream hard enough, maybe by some miracle, tracking and programmable movements. But maybe that's not what this gimbal is all about. Those of you that know a lot more about gimbals might be able to shed some light on that. So yeah, we want to hear from you if you've used this gimbal. At the moment, it seems INKEE have gone with a very soft launch, so I think it will take a while to get the momentum it deserves.